mistake you made at your wedding?
Honey, I love you, but said I do. Not my mistake. I love my wife. I'm going to get in trouble for that, aren't I?
Yeah.
Hello, hello, Crime Spies. It's 3:17 a.m. and I still haven't seen a video on this trial. So, what I've done is taken notes all day. I've been reading the Twitter feed and taking some tweets from Muddy Waters and some tweets from, I think it's KHQA, and just trying to put together some notes and some script for you. I put it in a slide format because with the StreamYard, I can't get a Word document put up, so I had to cut and paste it. And big long story, I didn't make it real fancy. So this is what it is. I'm kind of frustrated, if you can't tell. So I did do one live stream earlier, just reading the first half of this. It's like 18 minutes long, but I think I'm going to go ahead and ditch that one in lieu of this one because this is the whole day. They just recessed. So without further ado, here we go. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. And I've just been sitting here all day, so I'm not going to put makeup on just to read. Sorry, people. Okay. If anybody who is watching this right now on Twitch or Rumble or YouTube, if you could please put in the comment section if you find the video, because I would like to see it. Muddy Waters a couple hours ago said, oh yeah, we've got a video, and I can't find it in the link. It says video included. Anyway. So, this morning, the trial of former Family Feud contestant Timothy Bliefnick started. Bliefnick, I'm not sure because, of course, I can't see the video. So I'm going to probably slaughter some of these people's names. I apologize. I'm kind of winging it. So here's some trial details. It started today. Yesterday, the jury was seated. 6 men, 6 women. Actually, this afternoon, one of the elderly women was replaced for another woman, but we'll get to that. The judge's name is Judge Adrian. It's being held at the Adams County Courthouse. The prosecuting attorneys are Assistant State Attorney Josh Jones and Assistant State Attorney Laura Keck. The defense attorney is Casey Schnack. Again, I have no idea. And again, for those of you that might have watched that 15-20 minute one, put this on pause and wait about 15 minutes and come back. So this morning started approximately 9 a.m. Courtroom welcomed the arrival of 12 jurors responsible for determining the fate of murder suspect Timothy Bliefnick. Comprised of an equal representation of 6 men and 6 women, the jury members entered the room, catching Bliefnick's glaze as they took their seats. Judge Adrian proceeded to provide instructions to the jurors, including the schedule for the trial proceedings. Each day would consist of a morning break, a lunch break lasting 1 hour, during which the jurors would have time on their own. And of course, this is until deliberations start, then they may not do that. And an afternoon break. The court day will conclude at approximately 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Today it's 3:21 when I'm starting this. I think they ended about 20 minutes ago. I did a little quick peruse to see if I could find video, still couldn't. So I thought, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to put this up. Assistant State Attorney Josh Jones for Adams County requested the unsealing of all previously sealed documents pertaining to the Bliefnick trial, which was scheduled, Within the courtroom, various pieces of evidence were presented, including cell phone and text records, divorce records, video footage from surveillance cameras in the neighborhood surrounding the residences of both Tim and Rebecca Bliefnick on Hampshire and Kentucky Road, respectively, along with relevant Facebook posts and even a bicycle. So again, I got this information by following Muddy Waters and KHQA. although I followed mostly muddy waters this afternoon. So all of these details are in their tweets, although I made it into easier to follow. In the case of, the opening statement for prosecution in the case of People versus Timothy Bliefnick, Assistant State's Attorney Josh Jones commenced his opening statements providing a vivid portrayal of the crime scene. Jones alleged that Tim Bliefnick had not committed, quote, the perfect crime, as evidenced by the presence of 27 shell casings in his home, matched the 8 shell casings discovered next to Becky's lifeless body. With a somber tone, Jones... Okay, I guess that... I shut the light off because it was in my eyes and then I can't read it either. Okay, anyway. With a somber tone, Jones painted a grim picture of the final moments of Becky Bliefnick's life, describing an atmosphere of fear, panic, and eventual death. He accused Tim Bliefnick of callously shooting his estranged wife a staggering 14 times within the confines of her Quincy residence. Continuing his narrative, Jones delved into the contentious divorce proceedings between the Bliefnicks. He emphasized that Becky's last moments were not spent in the comforting embrace of her children, implying a tragic end to her life. As part of the prosecution's case, Jones revealed a crucial piece of evidence, a text message sent by Becky Bliefnick to a family member. In the message, she expressed her fear and directly implicated Tim Bliefnick as the potential perpetrator if anything were to happen to her. Additionally, Jones claimed that Tim had made statements denying Becky's entitlement to his money during their divorce proceedings. Strengthening his argument, Jones asserted that all the bullets fired at the crime scene were discharged from the same firearm. He highlighted the discovery of 8 shell casings near the victim's body, emphasizing that a total of 27 matching shell casings were found in the defendant's basement. This correlation, Jones argued, strongly linked Tim Bliefnick to the type of ammunition found at the scene of Becky Bliefnick's tragic demise. There was an objection during the state's opening statement. Defense attorney Casey Schnack, no idea if that's how to pronounce it, but I'm going with it, abruptly requested to approach Judge Adrian, causing a momentary interruption of the proceedings. The lawyers and the judge then adjourned to chambers to discuss the defense's objection. After a discussion in chambers, Judge Adrian ultimately denied Schnack's motion, thus resuming the trial and allowing Josh Jones to continue with his opening statement. In his resumation, he made damning allegations against Tim Bliefnick, claiming that his search history revealed disturbing queries, including topics such as how to utilize a crowbar, how to create a homemade silencer, how to determine police response times, how to open a window from the outside using a crowbar, and how to wash gunpowder off one's hands. Continuing his narrative, Jones introduced video evidence from approximately a week before the murder showing an unidentified individual riding a bicycle. Remember that bicycle was in the courtroom? From the vicinity of Bliefnick's residence towards the direction of the victim's house. Furthermore, Jones pointed out a significant detail. During the time frame corresponding to Becky Bliefnick's tragic demise, Tim's smartwatch failed to record any activities or whereabouts, indicating a potential window of opportunity for the crime to occur. A visual aid in the form of a photo was present to support his claim. The prosecutor then proceeded to paint a chilling picture of the events, asserting that Tim Bliefnick climbed into the second story of Becky Bliefnick's home by forcibly breaking a window with a crowbar. Once inside, Tim allegedly shot Becky 14 times, leaving her in a state of terror, bleeding, and ultimately alone. With the conclusion of Jones's opening statement, the judge called for another conference in chambers before defense attorney Casey Schnack would commence her opening statement. Her statement began by acknowledging the compelling narrative presented by prosecutor Josh Jones, but cautioned the jury that a well-told story does not equate to evidence or truth. Schnack assured the jury that the true evidence would emerge from the witness stand, where they would be able to determine what is truly factual and what is not. Asserting the presence of reasonable doubt, Schnack emphasized, I have no idea if I'm getting that right, that the case was saturated with it. She challenged the significance of the bike in question, pointing out that it bore no trace of Tim Bliefnick's DNA or fingerprints. Furthermore, she deemed the video footage capturing an individual on the bike inconclusive, arguing that it was impossible to definitively identify the person shown. Addressing the crowbar evidence and a footprint found on the carpet within Becky's home, Schnack deemed them inconclusive as well. She contended that the state had solely focused on Tim as a suspect, neglecting to consider any other potential perpetrators due to their presumption of his motive. Schnack also brought attention to the Aldi bag found at Tim's residence, asserting that they did not match the fibers discovered at the scene of Becky's murder. In conclusion, the defense attorney confidently stated that the evidence presented would not demonstrate beyond a reasonable doubt that Tim Bliefnick was responsible for the heinous act of murder. And again, there are a couple, like this Aldi bag thing. I don't know where that came from, but I'm only getting tweets from a few sources on the internet who are in the courtroom. So until we actually get the video, this is all we got. And there's a lot of people are like, where's the video? Where's the video? What's going on? And like I said, it would be helpful if Muddy Waters would at least put this in a thread, because then at the end of the thread, you can just ask ThreadReader to unroll, and then it's like one long piece of paper. This is taking me all day to cut and paste their tweets and then put it in like some kind of order and then figure out how to make it into like a legible, like a readable sentence. Okay. We finished that already. I'm venting. I apologize. Okay. The first witness this morning was Bill Postel. Again, no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is Rebecca's father. And he confirmed that Becky was his youngest daughter. Again, they don't give any other details, like if there's brothers, sisters. Postel recounted the events of the day his daughter was tragically murdered. He testified that he received a text message from Tim Bliefnick, which requested him to contact Becky regarding the pickup of their 3 boys from Tim's residence. According to Tim's message, he had not heard from Becky and was unsure who would be responsible for collecting the children. Tim claimed that Becky had informed him of being sick. Now, the last witnesses 6 and 7, again, they didn't specify who was 6 and who was 7, but they're a married couple that Becky had some kind of surgical procedure. They're the last witnesses of the morning session. So when he says Becky informed him of being sick, they had said that she had had some procedure done. So we'll get to that. They're witnesses 6 and 7 of the morning. And there's 4 witnesses in the afternoon. As Assistant State Attorney Laura Keck, so Josh Jones must be the lead prosecuting attorney. He did the opening, and then Laura Keck is interviewing this first witness. She's the other prosecuting attorney. She questioned Postel, I don't know, about the text message. He stated that upon receiving it, he went into Becky's house on Kentucky Road. Upon arrival, he discovered the front door open, which one of the neighbors also said 5:30 a.m. the door was open, and Becky's car parked in the garage. Inside, he found Becky's lifeless body lying on the bathroom floor. Postel described her appearance, noting that rigor mortis had already set in, indicating the advanced stage of death. Postel recalled leaving his phone at home and seeking assistance from a neighbor's house to call 911 for emergency assistance. The prosecution presented a photo of Becky's body, asking him if that accurately depicted how he discovered his daughter on the bathroom floor. He confirmed its accuracy, and then that concluded his testimony. During cross-examination, defense attorney Schnack inquired about Postel's communication with Tim prior to visiting Becky's house. Additionally, she asked if Postel had disturbed the body, to which he reiterated the presence of rigor mortis as a testament to the condition in which he found her remains. Then witness number 2 is a neighbor of Becky. I'm calling her Rolla Wyke, like Mike. I don't know. Rolla Wyke, neighbor. She recounted the events following Becky's dad, Bill Postel's discovery of her body. According to her, Wyke, Bill rushed to her home after finding Becky's lifeless body and informed her that he needed to use her phone to call 911 as he had forgotten his cell phone. She stated that he explicitly said, "I need to use your phone to call 911 because Becky is dead." Additionally, Wyke mentioned that she offered to assist Postel further by offering to pick up his wife, Bernie. So I don't know if she needed to get picked up somewhere. Again, we've got some holes in this because we're getting information off of text messages that are, short and sweet. During cross-examination, defense attorney Schnack inquired if Wyke had heard any unusual sounds or disturbances from Becky's house on the night of the murder. Wyke responded she had not heard anything noteworthy. Schnack then questioned Wyke about a phone conversation between Bernie and Tim, so that must be Tim's wife, or Tim's mother and him, during which Tim sounded surprised and exclaimed, "What?" upon being informed of Becky's death. So that leads me to believe maybe she did go pick up his wife, and then the wife was over at her house when she called Tim and told him that Becky was dead. I don't know until we get the video, which I don't know where it is. Again, if you are in the chat, if you could please let me know if the video has been released. I still cannot find it. So I'm just reading you what I got written down here. Okay, then the third witness was Rebecca Hudson, a secretary at St. Peter's School where Bliefnick's three sons attended. She stated that she did not contact Tim Bliefnick, but rather he had called this school himself. He informed Hudson that he was unable to reach Becky and would be picking up the boys instead of them walking home. This conversation took place on the day of Becky's murder. During cross-examination, defense attorney Schnack inquired about the school's policy regarding timely pickup of the children. She asked Hudson if it was appreciated when parents called ahead in case of any issues, which she confirmed was indeed appreciated. The prosecutor, Jones, on redirect must have then asked Hudson if Tim Bliefnick had ever called the school previously to arrange the boys' pickup, to which she replied no. The fourth witness this morning was Brian Lash, a resident who lived directly across the street from Becky. He testified that on February 22nd, he did not witness or hear anything unusual in the vicinity. However, he noted that the morning of February 23rd, he observed an unusual occurrence. The front door was open at about 5:30 before he departed for work. Lash further stated that he had not heard any disturbances throughout the previous night. Fifth witness, look at this name here. The fifth witness to take the stand was Amy Schmeidskamp, a resident living on Kentucky Road. So she lives on the same road Becky does, and a neighbor of Ray Bliefnick. Now, Ray Bliefnick is Tim's father. So again, because we are getting this through information through tweets, I'm assuming Tim's dad must live in the neighborhood, and this must have been their original home that they lived at, and Tim was living in a new place. I don't know. I'm guessing. Amy testified that despite residing just a few houses away, she did not see the Bliefnick children at their grandfather's house for a considerable period of time. Regarding the night of Becky's death, she stated that she neither saw Tim nor heard any disturbances during that time. And then, like I had mentioned, witnesses 6 and 7 are the Gervaises, Cecilia and Brandon Gervais, close friends of Becky residing in St. Peters, Missouri. Now, keep in mind, this takes place in Quincy, Illinois. They testified, and again, they just put their names up and some of these details, and I had to put it as one. They testified that Becky had stayed with them from February 19th to February 21st. Now, February 22nd, morning of 23rd is when she was found, the morning of the 23rd. So they're assuming because of rigor mortis, she must have been killed on February 22nd. So they testified Becky stayed with them from February 19th to February 21st due to a medical procedure she had to undergo. Remember, Tim said he thought she said she was sick. So I'm assuming maybe he said sick, but this was, I don't know what this was. Cecilia stated that she accompanied Becky to her surgery on Monday while Brandon drove her back to Quincy on Tuesday. Following their testimonies, the court adjourned for lunch. What would last till 1 o'clock? Okay, and then the afternoon, there's 4 witnesses. The first one is Taylor Hyman, who resides directly east of Becky Bliefnick's house on Kentucky Road. So he's also neighbor to Amy and what's the other guy? Brian Lash. So they're all in the neighborhood. He clarifies that his wife shares the same name, Taylor Hyman, and assures the court of their efforts to differentiate between the two of them. So Taylor Hyman is married to Taylor Hyman. I guess that happens. He reveals that his home is equipped with recording devices, specifically cameras situated on the south side. Oh, hey, and for those of you that listened to the morning or I did it a couple hours ago, like 20 minutes. Now's where you're going to want to pick up. It's right in here because this is all new. Hyman reveals that his home is equipped with recording devices, specifically cameras situated on the southeast side. These cameras are motion activated and record for 7 seconds when triggered. He explains that the camera sensitivity is set at a level of 7 on a scale ranging from 0 to 12. According to Hyman's testimony, he received an alert on his phone indicating that the driveway cameras detected motion outside his home at 12:37 a.m. on February 14th. Okay. The video captured by the cameras on that date shows a person walking on or near his driveway, but Hyman emphasizes that the footage does not provide sufficient information to discern the individual's gender. He further discloses that on February 22nd, so remember, we're thinking she was murdered sometime in the night of the February 22nd, he received 2 more alerts on his phone. The videos recorded at 1:05 a.m., so I guess that would be February 23rd in the morning, and 1:53 a.m. show a person on his driveway. The footage reveals someone walking up the driveway in the first recording and walking away from the driveway in the second. So this would be the morning, I'm assuming, February 22nd into the 23rd, 1:05 going up and 1:05 and 1:53 going down. All the videos presented by Hyman demonstrates unidentified individuals walking on his driveway. He clarifies to defense attorney Casey Schnack that there was no reports of prowlers in the neighborhood before February 14th or after Becky's death. He also explains that the cameras were installed due to incidents of his wife's vehicle being broken into. In response to Schnack's questioning, he confirms that neither he nor his wife reported the presence of the mysterious person captured on their driveway on February 22nd to the police. The next afternoon witness was Ted Johnson. Now, Ted Johnson revealed that he was in a dating relationship with Becky starting in January of 2022. They became romantically involved in the summer of... Oh, this isn't right. Summer of 2022. Oops. Oh, I can't edit it. I wonder if that was just typoed wrong. Anyway, Johnson explains that Becky's divorce was tense and that she was looking forward to it being finalized. Assistant State Attorney... I gotta make a note over here. Just hold on a second. Please hold. That's gotta be wrong. Date. Fixed date. I'll look again. Sorry. Okay. Assistant State Attorney. Okay, so Laura's back on the questioning of this witness. Provides Johnson with paper copies of texts and phone calls exchanged between him and Becky. He disclosed that he spent the night with Becky on the evening of February 13th, arriving around midnight and leaving around 5:30 a.m. on February 14th. Now, what time? 12:37 February 14th a.m. That's interesting. So whoever was caught on the camera at 12:37 February was right around the time where this guy was spending the night. Interesting. Noted. He parked his car on the south end side of the driveway of her house. Johnson admits to having a, can I say this even on YouTube? An encounter with Becky that night. An adult encounter. He also mentions, see, I hate this. See, if I was just on Rumble, I could say what I want. Stupid. With Becky that night. He also mentioned seeing her when she returned from her surgery and bringing food to her house on February 21st. During that visit, he stayed for an hour, carried bottles of water and books upstairs to her bedroom, kissed her on the forehead, and bid her good night, unaware it would be the last time he saw her. He became emotional when recalling the last time he saw Becky. On February 22nd, they exchanged texts with Becky expressing excitement about picking up her boys the next day, because she must have been laid up in bed, obviously, from whatever this procedure was. However, Johnson's attempts to contact her the following morning went unanswered. It doesn't say what time here. Maybe it will when we see the video eventually. During cross-examination, defense attorney Casey Schnack questions Johnson about his relationship with Becky and whether Tim was aware of Becky's surgery. Johnson clarifies that he did not have an exclusive dating arrangement with Becky, but was not involved with anyone else in the adult fashion. So, not exclusive. So, were they like, F-buddies? I don't know. Friends with benefits? I don't know. I'd like to see the video of the testimony. He admits to holding a bag for Becky in his safe, but claims he did not know its contents, including the alleged $13,000. See, that's the first I've heard of that. Johnson also states he did not have a key to Becky's house and does not recall if he left his own house on the night of Becky's murder. Interesting. You'd think that he would, remember that, you find out on the 23rd that she's dead. You'd think in his brain he would, have cataloged what he did the night before. Now, remember, these are prosecution attorneys, or prosecution witnesses. Okay, we got 2 more witnesses for the afternoon. The third witness in the afternoon is Officer, look at these names, Matt Hermsmeyer. Matt Hermsmeyer. We're just going to call him that. Courtroom takes a break to stretch before he begins his testimony. Matt recounts receiving a call around 3:30 p.m. on February 23rd to assist with a death investigation on Kentucky Road. He was informed that a family member had discovered another family member deceased, and it was initially thought to be a possible suicide. He arrived at the scene 3 minutes later. So remember, the dad, Bill, called because he found his daughter deceased. During his testimony, Matt reveals that upon observing shell casings and damage to the broken floor, he quickly realized it was not a suicide. He proceeded to enter the home and make his way to the second floor. There, he discovered 6 or 7 shell casings on the floor. Did I just say that already? Which contradicted the typical pattern seen in suicide cases involving a single shot. Additionally, he noticed the bedroom door and wood frame were damaged. Oh, I think this is when never mind. Photographs presented in court confirmed the presence of wood splinters from the broken door and spent shell casings in Becky's home where her body was found. Matt also testifies about finding a cell phone on the floor behind the broken bedroom door. Further investigation led him to a broken window in the east bedroom and an impression in the carpet possibly made by a shoe or foot. Don't you think you could tell if it was a footprint or a shoe print? Just saying. He then encountered Becky's body laying on her back in the bathroom. Matt noticed several pieces of plastic around her body as well as a towel positioned in her underwear drawer. In the downstairs area. The jury is shown a photograph depicting her deceased body on the bathroom floor with accompanying images highlighting the plastic pieces and towel. Weird. So the plastic pieces could be from a homemade silencer. Remember in the beginning during prosecution's opening statements, that was one of his searches. Okay, I wonder what the towel deal is. That's odd. Matt continued his testimony, remarking that Becky was wearing underwear that were modified, that did not appear to be torn or ripped. He remained at the Kentucky Road house for approximately 6 hours and contacted Sergeant Albus to involve the Quincy Police Department Investigations Unit. Additionally, Matt notes that he was the first person to discover the foot impression in the east bedroom. Following his testimony, Judge Adrian requested a discussion at the bench with both of the counsels. Then they took a 20-minute break, and then at approximately 2:25 p.m., so like an hour and a half ago, a decision was made to remove one of the jurors, an elderly female. As a result, there was a female replacement, so it's still unchanged with 6 men and 6 women on the jury. The last witness of the day is Becky's sister, Sarah. She's from Irvington, New York. She shared that Becky and Tim first met in college and later resided in Chicago before moving to Fort Wayne, Indiana, where they got married in September 2009. According to Riley, both Tim and Becky placed significant importance on fitness. I think he was a big football star, from what I remember. They relocated to Quincy after the birth of their eldest son, who is now 12. Approximately 7 to 8 months before Tim initiated divorce proceedings, Becky confided in her sister about the impending separation. Riley discloses that Becky frequently shared stories and photos on Facebook focusing on her children and her work as a nurse. Riley affirms that Becky retained the same phone number since moving to Quincy and maintained regular communication with her, including numerous texts and frequent phone calls. In 2021, Becky sent her sister a text message expressing her fear that Tim might harm her, stating that if anything were to happen to her, the primary reason of interest should be Tim. And again, the prosecuting attorney did allude to this in his opening statements. Riley recounts being in a salon in Florida when her mother called, and although she missed the call, her daughter informed her that Grandma had called and was in tears. It was then that Riley discovered her sister's tragic death. Riley recounts speaking with her mother, who informed her that they had no information regarding the incident. Feeling uninformed, Riley decided to reach out to Ted Johnson, so the boyfriend, the non-committal boyfriend, believing he might have knowledge about what had transpired. She shares a conversation she had with Becky where Becky expressed her disappointment in Johnson not valuing their relationship because he was probably in the field. I don't know. Where's the video? Becky confided that she didn't want their relationship to become public until after the divorce was finalized. Riley asserts her love for Johnson. So Riley asserts Becky's love for this Ted Johnson and states that she did not fear him. She recalls the last time she was in the presence of Tim Bliefnick, which was during Christmas in 2019. Because remember, we were all locked down for Christmas 2020 because of the Rona. During a police interview, Riley described her sister as a strong-willed alpha female who wouldn't allow herself to be mistreated. Riley confirms that Becky's text message regarding her concerns about Tim was not sent to their parents or to the Quincy Police Department. And then that was it. They recessed. Prosecuting Attorney Jones confirmed that there are no additional witnesses slated to testify for the remainder of the day. Upon hearing this, Judge Adrian dismissed the jury for the day, remarking that proceedings progressed more swiftly than anticipated. He assures everyone that he aims to conclude each day's proceedings by 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, although there's a possibility of finishing even earlier. And that's all I have. So hopefully this slideshow. Now I tried to figure out if there would be a way for me to upload the slideshow so you don't have to listen to me read it to Twitter, but I don't know how. So I'll have to figure it out. But this morning when I read the first part of this up till the morning break, I thought, well, gee, it would kind of be nice if people could follow along. So then I thought, oh, I'll put the text on there. Well, that doesn't happen. You have to put it in a slide. Oh, boy. So that's that. So that's it. That's all I got. What are we at for time? Ooh, 37 minutes. Crime Spies can read fast. I covered the whole entire day in 37 minutes. That's pretty darn good. I'll show you what I had to deal with. Here, let's share. Can we share this tab instead? Let's see. Or you probably don't even care. So I just have a notification for Muddy Rivers News. And yeah, so this is it. They don't put it in a thread. See if they put all these in it. So if you're watching from Muddy Rivers News, could you just start like one thread and then underneath? So just instead of starting a whole new tweet, just put it in a comment, and then we can go to Thread Reader, and little Thread Reader will read the whole entire thing in like, this was just like part of KHQA's thread, which wasn't very much, but at least Thread Reader puts it in like a PDF so you can read it like a book. This is like, tweet, and then I gotta like copy paste and then try to make it into like, sentence format. There was something in here I wanted to look at about the date. Anyway, doesn't matter, I guess. So that's that. 37 minutes. Crime Spies read you the whole entire day. So I'm going to figure out, hopefully later today, we'll find out where that video is coming from. And maybe there will be enough complaints from people like you and me who follow these trials and complain that, what's the point of waiting to release it? I don't understand what the point is. Like, why can't you just release it in real time? Like yesterday during the Brian Kohlberger, they did the same thing with that, where they videotaped it and then they recessed and then they released a little snippet to the news. And then the second release, the very beginning, it's not like they hold it to edit it for like video quality. They could have, undone all the, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Business. I don't know. So again, I was hoping to cover this trial, and this is what I came up with for now. So that's that. I don't know what to do, and I don't want to bore you with me trying to figure it out. So I didn't see any comments about whether or not you found the video. So with that, I bid you adieu, and hopefully tomorrow it'll be less bumpy and more enjoyable to watch. So thanks for joining me. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be uploading probably 1 or 2 chapters on just the Rumble and Twitch channels of Glenn Beck's book, The Great Reset. That's the next in our book club. We're done with the Fauci book by RFK Jr. Don't forget to check out the Kindle version of the sequel about the Wuhan lab. And we're done with Laptop from Hell by Miranda Devine. And we're also done with Dan Bongino's Follow the Money. And this morning, because I thought this was going to start earlier than it did, I just uploaded Sun Tzu's Art of War, which is required reading for my 4 kids at home. I have a 20-year-old son and triplet, 16, almost 17-year-old daughters. So, yeah, those are the books. They are not on YouTube for obvious reasons, but they are on my Rumble and Twitch channels. So I will talk to you in the morning. And thanks for being patient while we get you this information. And make sure to share with other people who are out of the loop. You can even just turn the volume down if you don't want to hear me listen to it, because now you got the text. You can read it in your own voice if you want. All right, have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. If you enjoyed the content, please hit that like button. Share this video on your social media. Subscribe to our channel. Turn on those important notifications. Follow us on Twitter. This channel is new, so that means we work for free. Any support is most appreciated through Rumble Rants, Venmo, or Buy Me a Coffee. All links are in the description box below. I look forward to your next visit to Crime Spies. Thanks again so much and have a blessed day.